Hello, shalom, salam, and hola. Welcome to the Hot Jewish Podcast. I'm Michael, aka Hot Jewish Energy. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Hot Jewish Energy, at Hot Jewish Podcast, and at Michael T. Valdes with an S at the end. And you can find me on my new account at Hot Jewish Short King, which will be my lifestyle, fashion, dating, and talking about what makes me upset page, even though I already do that on Hot Jewish Energy. But we're going to talk about things that are not Jewish related because that's not my only personality trait. Anywho, welcome to the episode. Today this is my Dear Diary entry. Today was a good day. It was nice. I got a lot of chore stuff done, but it was a pretty good day. I was pleased with all that I got done. I tried booking an ENT. They're waiting for my approval for the appointment. I called my sleep study specialist doctor to see if they're actually going to give me a sleep study before I go to Israel. And they told me that they got to figure that out. And I bought my luggage today, which was really uneventful. I mean, it was a really nice luggage. I mean, a little expensive, but you guys actually helped me pick it out on my at Hot Jewish Short King account. You guys actually decided my luggage for me. I went with the Soul Guard, if that's how it's pronounced, and I did the check-in closet, which is a nice big luggage for my trip because I will be in Israel for 21 days, not 3 weeks. So, for people listening, I put up two threes on either hand, and that meant 6 weeks, but it's 3 weeks. But yeah, I'll be in Israel for 3 weeks. I'm very, very excited, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful trip. And speaking of Israel and hot Jewish Israelis, today we have a really, really special guest. You guys probably know him. Some of you even requested for him to be on today, which I knew you guys would because he is just next level. He's so cool. He's so fun. I don't want to say he, what's the right word to describe this beautiful Israeli Jewish man? He's just so funny. He's smart. He's smart and funny, which are two out of, oh my god, I'm forgetting my own requirements to be a hot Jew. You have to be, fuck. I'm this is my slogan and I don't even know it. And I look at it every single day. You have to be smart, hot, funny, and Jewish to be a hot Jew. And that includes being a Zionist too. That's like a little like a little aside. You have to be a Zionist to be a hot Jew. But yeah, his name, you guys probably already know who it is, but we're gonna give the big reveal. Uri Cohen! Oh, shit. That was so fucking intense. Sorry, that was like really, really loud. I'm sorry. It probably, whoever's listening on earbuds, I am so sorry that happened to you, but we're gonna keep it really, really quiet now. Today's guest is Uri Cohen. It's Uri Cohen. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for him to be here. And I'm just realizing that this is going to be really, really loud. I got to back it up a lot. Back it up. Back it up. You got it. You got it. Back it. You guys aren't getting music this season. You're going to probably get music next season because I may be coming out with some music. But yeah, you're not getting. Wait, is that going to be copyrighted? Fuck. Oh my god. Anyways, we're already 5 minutes into this episode, but yeah, Uri Cohen is here today. He is gonna be on. I'm waiting for him to come on right now, but yeah, enough about me. We are going to go right into it with Uri right after this very, very brief break. You are watching and or listening to the Hot Jewish Podcast with special guest Uri Cohen. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm here with Uri Cohen.
Shalom, Michael. How are you? This is I'm blushing, my friend. Really, my nose. Yes, this is beautiful.
I'm. I'm so excited to have you here because we've been trying to get this to happen for a few months now, and you are such a trooper. You really most people wouldn't be doing this at the time that they're doing it for you. What time is it in Israel right now?
My friend, I'm telling you, I'm right now came back drunk as fuck from Tubi,
Oh
as you
my
can see, my friend. 4 a.m. after I was ripping off Americans at my events. But we love Americans, we love Israel, we love 2B60 too much. But yeah,
oh
so
my
it's 4 a.m. And because Michael is such a nice Jewish boy, and we talked, I did him a headache on emails. I never email in my life. Now we are here. I have the big honor to be here on this podcast.
well, thank you for being here, and I I don't even know where to start. So, I think I started following you. Oh my gosh, I think it was definitely earlier on because a lot of people were resharing a lot of your posts in your IDF uniform, and I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at those photos and I was like, "Damn, he's handsome." And I
Man, stop it,
and I
Daniel.
followed
Stop
you.
it, Michael. This is
And I didn't
thank
even
you.
I didn't even know about all the good work you do to cut a lot of all the advocacy that you do. I was just like, "Damn, he's really handsome. I'm going to follow him." And
I'm
then
blushing
I
a
got to
lot.
I really got to see the person behind the photo, and you're doing such great work. I particularly love your Bella Hadid criticism and your Hadid criticisms because a lot of people don't talk about that, and it's very much needed, and I really thankful for the work you're doing specifically with that, but with everything in general.
Thank you. First of all, this is amazing, like to hear this kind of stuff. Really, the IDF uniform in general turned every guy that is like 5 out of 10. It's giving him two more levels. So I'm just, using this kind of trend and stuff. But thank you so much. I'm blushing. My nose is erect. Everything. Thank you so much, Michael. You're also handsome, and I'm also loving to follow you. I saw a few very, very, very nice memes that you made. One of them was something sexualized Zionism. I think Benjamin Netanyahu, something like this. It was good. I remember
Oh my,
something.
you remember those?
Do you have also one that you wrote something like? I'm Jewish and I'm hot. I'm Jewish and I'm something like this that got a lot of likes. I remember something like proud of being sexy Jewish person. I like this. This is the same mind that I understand.
Your sexualized Zionism, which we're going to get into later in the episode, but that I think that's so in line with my philosophy too, just making everything hot. I want to get into it about you. So everyone can very much tell that you are from Israel. You have a very
My friend.
beautiful Israeli accent. You are a very handsome Israeli man. What
Thank you.
was it
Keep
like?
going. Keep going.
Keep
Keep
going.
lying.
Yeah.
It's good. Except the accent. Five Israelis
Oh,
accents. This is true.
what was it like growing up in Israel? Because a lot of people don't get the perspective of Israel from someone that actually grew up in Israel.
So I didn't have a lot of choice. I was born in Israel, but
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I was born to my parents, obviously. I have two sisters younger than me. They don't have Instagram and stuff. I'm the only person, the only weirdo that have Instagram and stuff in this family.
You
And
and you and your grandma
Santa Sofia, this is true.
Savta.
This is a
Mm-hmm.
national treasure. Only maybe I will find open one day, only grants or something like this also to make more shkalim. But
Mm-hmm.
so growing in Israel, basically, when we talk about it in this kind of conversation, I tell you what, when I was young, when I was a child, there was the second Intifada, honestly, and I'm telling you, this is something like you. I remember as a child, like you living in a country, in a city in Jerusalem that's full, full of terror attacks. And
Mhm.
it's like also nowadays there are a lot of terror attacks, but back then it was like so many like bombing terror attacks, like something much more serious than right now. A lot of exploding buses and stuff. So childhood as a Israeli kid, child living in Jerusalem, it was scary. My
Mhm.
parents wouldn't let me go on a bus because every 2 days a bus was exploding. Baruch Hashem, right now it's not happening. But you all the time have the fear, you understand? And you're growing in this kind of life of all the
Mhm.
time scary, people scared, people. But beside that, like Israel is a very warm. I had like I was growing with a lot of friends, a lot of good people. That until now I was with them. Some in the IDF, some, I became state friends. And yeah, being Israeli, like it's pretty awesome. Like I think that I feel belong to the country. I'm proud to be Jewish. I'm circumcised,
Mhm.
everything. Maybe I need to check it every time. Magen David, I need to wear it. Yes, you understand. But
Uh-huh.
I feel like a proud Jew. I feel like that I'm more Israeli than Jewish, honestly, in Israel.
That yeah. I was talking with Amy. Do you know Amy Albertson?
Maybe.
The A the the Asian
Maybe.
Israeli?
I think I know. I think I know. She has a lot of followers.
Yeah. She was talking about how a lot of Israelis it was interesting that you say that you feel more Israeli than Jewish because she was saying because she lived in Israel for about 6 years, she made Aliyah, and then she ended up moving back to the States. She said that a lot of Israelis, it's just Judaism is so ingrained in your life and in your identity because you are in the homeland that
Yeah,
there's no like separation of it. It's just it's all melded together, and it's really interesting that you say
yeah,
that you feel even more Israeli than you do Jewish.
yeah.
That's
Because I'm telling you being honest, I'm not so religious. Let's say that if Hashem seeing half of the things that I do during the day, include, not eating kosher, encourage people to dance at the Pole GMU, and the rest of the Chilul Hashem that I do myself. I feel that, Judaism, it's just like, the way I was born, you understand? I'm
mhm,
Jewish, not religiously Jewish and stuff. Obviously, I'm fighting against anti-Semitism, but like it's mostly because it's racism, you understand? It's like, yeah, it's I feel like when I do it I fight more for Israel, you understand? Eh,
mhm,
this is something that I think Israelis and Jews, like worldwide Jews, diaspora Jews, they have a very big gap between the way they look about
mhm,
the Judaism and life and stuff, because I'm telling you, this is something very, very different.
mhm.
Yeah,
It's interesting because most Jews in Israel are non-observant secular. They're not very invested in the customs. Maybe they just do the holidays, which most of the time that is what the observance level is. But it's it's just so interesting that here in the U.S. there are a lot more Orthodox and Hasidic Jews than there are in Israel. It's actually more very much a minority in Israel. It's very
yeah,
interesting.
it's true. A lot of people that imagine Israel, they're imagining, like, beside the conflict and
Hmm.
stuff, they say, oh, Jews, and then they imagine, like, the Haredim. They don't
Hmm.
know that there are a lot of not Haredim, a lot of, just it's like Americans, like, they are not, you can tell that they are like religious and stuff. But yeah, a lot of Israelis, Jews are
Hmm.
yes, like me, you see, the same,
Yeah.
not religious, yeah, just Jews, but
Hmm.
they're connected, like connected to the land,
Yep.
to the language, to eventually doing chagim and stuff like this. Traditionally, let's say it like this.
I'm gonna kind of segue now into more about you and how your journey started online because obviously I only know you really from Instagram. You were on TikTok at one point, right?
Yes,
You
all
well,
the Bella
you're
Hadids
still
got
on TikTok.
me. Yes, but now I tell you what, every time I post something for the Jewish community,
Yep.
all the Bella Hadids on the TikTok reporting, we will do your second circumcision. And eventually, there are many more not like Jew haters than Jews. Honestly, it's eventually, I think it's kind of a conflict of religion, honestly. Eventually,
Mhm.
there are many more people will support Palestine and the Palestinians than
Mhm.
they will support the Jewish people. And then eventually, a platform like TikTok full of anti-Semites. And
Yep.
I'm getting so many threats and, hate messages and reports. Eventually, my account got banned. TikTok
Yeah.
is, I don't like TikTok, honestly.
It's honestly, I kind of gave up on TikTok too because it's just been very very tough, and I've been seeing a lot. I for me, I've been seeing a lot more positive growth and positive feedback on Instagram that I than I ever did on TikTok. But
It's so true. TikTok,
yeah,
like there are so a lot of like content that you see there. Like you see
yeah,
people literally opening camera and just say what they think, posting
mhm,
like this because the algorithm there like encourage people to just post videos. It's saying so many lies, so many. Yeah, I think that TikTok, for example, is a platform that very like increasing anti-Semitism
yeah.
very, very, very hard. Like more than other platforms.
Was it one specific post that got you viral, that got you all of this following, or it took a lot of time and you
No,
built it up?
I tell you what. I started uh, everything. I after the army, I said, okay, Uri, what do you want to do for a living? Selling drug? I don't know. I was thinking about a lot of options. I'm kidding. No, Chas v'Chalila. No, no, no. This is cut. But no, no, I'm a good person. No drugs, no anything. No, but
No, we don't.
eventually, huh?
No drugs. No
You want
drugs.
drugs? I'm
Stay in
kidding.
school.
No, my friend. Not every Israeli know to get drugs. Everything is good.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
said, okay. I thought I was thinking what I want to do and stuff. So I started to work as a security guard on Bertrand, Taglit,
Wow.
to protect Americans, to try to hook up with American girls for a green card, something that will make my life become a better. And
It's
then
funny that I'm just gonna say this quickly. And then you'll continue. It's funny that you mentioned that because I made I made a post. It was recently. It was like I took a screenshot of a tweet that I wrote, and it said, "Oh, is it like a rite of passage for Americans to hook up with IDF soldiers, or am I just like imagining something?" And almost every single person that commented, including an Israeli soldier, said yes, it is a rite of passage. Either the Americans trying to get with the Israelis or the Israelis trying to get with the Americans. So it's funny that you say that. That confirms it.
of course it's confirmed. This is the priority. I tell you something. Israelis, I tell you what, Israelis like Israeli girls. They are tough. They block you. They are the Iron
Sabra.
Dome. They are beautiful,
Yeah.
but they are the Iron Dome. So the the average Israeli fuckboy try to find some kind of solution and then they see the American girls, the tourists, they say they come here for one time, they get excited from the IDF stories. I can bullshit them, I can tell them that I was in Gaza, they will get excited. And then it's kind of break the monopoly, and then you understand. So a lot of Israelis like, oh my god, these American girls, these tourists, they understand. So they want to have from something that it's not part of their society. They say it's interesting. So at the beginning, I said, let's try to get a green card, and then I started like to film a lot of myself at the Birthright group, making fun of the participants, and then people were like, listen, Uri, this is funny. Like, wow, this is, you're making good content. Like, I was just talking, like, we were doing like wrap up or get to know each other activities. And I was like, my turn. Everyone was like, my name is this. I'm studying at Princeton. I'm this. And my name is Uri. I graduated at Shuk Machane Yehuda. People laughing, you understand? And I felt like there is something. People were laughing just even when I was talking seriously. People were laughing. You understand? So I said, yeah, with people laughing, let's try. And then I open Instagram. Every birthright group, 50 followers, 50, 50, 50, ta 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 ta. Bella Hadid video, 1,000 followers. You understand? And then my Instagram was growing. Not from one video, it's from a process, I think.
It all
And
started from making fun of Americans.
this is
Honestly, I don't blame you. Very random, but w- give me your best American accent.
dude. Dude, you know with how many girls I hooked up with? Man, this is the shit. I don't know how to say it. Dude, I don't know. Like, it's hard.
I
Man, dude, something like this. I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you a real question because I'm gonna be in Israel in almost a month.
Yalla, you will come,
Eh,
come to my events. I will give you 20% off. I'm kidding, no. You will pay 200% from there. I'm kidding. Okay, you will get a free ticket. Don't tell
my
it to the
my
other.
question though, I've
Okay.
heard that it's a lot of straight men, not gay men in the IDF i- that are supervising the birthright groups. Is that true, or there are gay men?
There are gay men. A lot.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm trying to get like y'all know
I will help
my
you
dating.
find the big M16. Don't worry. I will find. I
Will you
will help
hook
you.
me up? Will you hook me up,
I
please?
will. There is.
Please.
I have my dating page. It's called Tinduri. I have also Grinduri. Whoever wants. There is Milfuri. There is Dilfuri. Whatever you want. Pimpuri for one night shidduch.
Grind
Yeah.
Dory. Oh my god.
I posted a lot. I made shidduchim also in the gay community.
Okay.
Every person should have his other half. If you like
I
bulbul, it's good. If you like cats, it's good. Tel Aviv is very, 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 open for everything.
I know. Oh,
If
I
you
know.
like boat, it's also good. As long as you have money and you have a credit card that working in Tel Aviv, you're good. The rest is up to whatever. It's not Iran or something like this. But I will
I'm
help
gonna
you. Michael, I
I'm
will
gonna
help you.
I, I'm gonna continue before I make a fool of myself, but I will definitely take you up on that because I definitely you all know that are watching and listening. I need a lot of help. You do a lot of work online. You do a lot of advocacy online. You're doing so much. Has what you've done online kind of shifted into your everyday life in
Yes,
Israel in person?
of course. So I quit from being a security guard and a medic on Bertrand to be full-time job on social media.
Hmm.
And basically, what I'm doing for the Jewish community, like, fighting anti-Semitism and this kind of videos, it's growing my Instagram. And eventually, I have a business that I don't know if you know my pub crawls, my events that I'm doing for tourists. Eventually, most of the people that coming there, they getting the promotion. They see my content from Instagram, and then they come, and I build a crowd that's coming. And eventually, I know that when I make a funny or a good video, I grow 20 followers, for example, for a day. I don't know, 30, 40, 50, and then more people will see my commercials for my events. You understand? So eventually, it's
Hmm.
something like, I say, if I put effort on Instagram, more people will see my events, and then I will make
Hmm.
more money. And there is a lot of stuff. I try to sell products and merch and stuff like this, and I have a lot of ideas that I'm going
Hmm.
to do soon.
I want to go to one of these events. If
You are more than welcome. Also,
I
there are
will
some very, very nice gay clubs in Tel Aviv.
because the last
Really?
time I was in Israel, I was 17. I was not open about that part of my life yet, and now I need to be way more open about that part of my life. So
Of course. And this is the perfect city for that, for being open.
it's the gay capital of the Middle East for a reason.
Yeah. It's it's in the Middle East. It's not you don't have a lot of comparison. Gaza Plaza, where you can find something like this.
This is actually perfect. It's going into my next question for you. So,
Yeah.
talking about the Middle East, talking about Gaza Plaza, the Gaza Strip, Gaza Shore, Jersey
Gaza
Shore.
Strip Club. We like Gaza Strip Club. It's going to be
So,
bombed there. Don't worry, I will take you. No, 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 no. I don't want to go there.
how how would you describe what's currently happening in Israel from your perspective? Because you give you're Israeli. We don't see a lot of that perspective of what's going on in Israel from the Israeli perspective. So please share with me everything that's happening.
So I tell you what, I think that most of the Israelis kind of living in a bubble. It's very different from the Jews outside of Israel that heard all the news. The Israelis in Israel are not exposed to all the lies, all the lies about the IDF, or all of this kind of outside media. They are not like American Jews living in a society of a lot of people that getting news from Al Jazeera, TikTokers, from a lot of
Mhm,
eventually a lot of anti-Israel platforms. So Israelis don't feel like they know there is a conflict. They know there is Gaza. They know there is terror attacks. They know, but they
mhm,
are really not into it. They are really, really like focused about their life, about their career, about their just, obviously, people, for example, the last terror attack in Dizengoff. I'm telling you, the guys that got murdered, I know his brother. It's horrible. I know that this guy, for example, the 30 days before it happened, he didn't even thought about the conflict. Like he was living in his life with his girlfriend and doing what he's doing, and then suddenly it's happened to him. So I'm telling you, like, it's good thing and bad thing, because from one side you're living in a bubble, from the other side, I think more Israelis needs to be understand how much the situation right now with Gaza and the Palestinians and stuff. How much it's something that it's not a joke. It's like
mhm.
it's like the hate for Israel is growing. Israelis don't see it.
So would you say that the Israeli mindset about everything that's happening, it can be comparable to, for Americans watching, it's comparable to how Americans have become so numb to like gun violence, mass
Something
shootings.
something like this, exactly. Like it's
Uh-huh.
bothering you, but you live with this and you don't give like honestly also the media, the purpose of the media is to make every like to entertain, like to make people think that every all the time there is a war. All the time there is
Mhm,
something bad. All the time, like to make to get clothes, to make people this. Think about it, you're living with Israelis. Eventually there is anti-Semitism, there is terror attacks and stuff. But even if 100 people dying in a year, and it's sad and it's horrible and it's obviously it's terrible. You know how many people dying from bad Israeli drivers on the road every day? Much more than 100 people. There is terror and stuff, but Israelis don't see it like
they go
the
on about
way.
their lives.
Yes, they don't. They are living in their own bubble. There is something also good in that. And I think that when the shit that's going on in Israel, eventually the people that suffering the most from it are the American Jews that like supporting Israel, and then all the people that against Israel that don't doesn't they're not living in Israel. giving them the shit.
Yeah.
So this is the difference. This is why living in a Jewish state is completely different than living
Wow.
in the US, for example.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the news outlets, a lot of the news companies that are in Israel, they're publishing one story, but then the American news is completely
Yeah,
changing it.
changing it.
It's
You,
crazy.
you can see, for example, at the beginning of the year, there was a terror attack in a synagogue in Jerusalem. I don't, you probably heard it, when
Mhm.
7 people got murdered, like 7 Jews. Someone came with a gun and was shooting 7 Jews. And for example, in the US, you know what they wrote? 7 people died in Jerusalem attack. That's it.
They don't give
You don't know if
context.
it's Jews, Arabs. You don't understand Palestinian. 7 people. It sounds like gun violence in the U.S. The way BBC, for example, exposing it. But in Israel, you will write a terror attack. A Palestinian terrorist was shooting. You understand? La, 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 and you see,
Mm.
people don't know understand what's going on here for real. It's so different.
And
And yeah.
it's crazy that all of this has been going on for decades, and then with the political situation now in Israel too, people are still protesting in the streets even when everything around them is falling apart and rockets in the air. People are still protesting. How are you feeling about all of the political unrest?
A lot of the people that are protesting now against Netanyahu, they are like very like they see like they are left wing. The people that walking with like Palestinian flags and stuff. I don't. They are not pointing the blame like pointing the blame against the government about the whole situation. I don't agree with it at all. Uh,
Mhm.
they are blaming the terrors, the rockets, about the Israeli government. This is why they keep doing it. They're like, if you ask them why there is a terror attacks, why there is a war, why there is this, they say Israel is in charge, Israel is the stronger and stuff, and the situation happens because of Israel. I don't agree with this, you understand? And I think I'm not from this side. I think that it's much more complicated, and you don't have a partner for peace, and eventually the radical minority in Gaza and at the West Bank, the corruption, the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. I don't think that maybe Israel can do better things, but the
Yeah.
people that protesting against Netanyahu, most of them also put Israel as the reason why the Palestinians are suffering. So I'm not part. You will never see me in this kind of protest because there are a lot of people like this in this kind of protest against Netanyahu. And this is something I disagree with.
A lot of people think that the Israeli government is the main problem when really it's all of these I hate to even say organizations because they're not, they're thugs. All of these Palestinian thugs, the jihad, Hamas,
Yeah,
Hezbollah, the people aren't realizing that they're the root of the problem. If they weren't there, there would be no
yeah,
problem.
yeah. A lot of people say because of the Israeli attitude and because Israel is closing Gaza, these groups are growing and stuff. But it's a fight about religion. Like this is the conflict. Eventually, it's a fight. Like it's the Jewish people. It's the
Yeah.
Jewish people who living inside land that Arabs, Muslims were living there. It's eventually about religion. Eventually,
It's
no matter
about
what. And
yeah.
you see
Yeah.
something very bad that happening at the Middle East. You see almost all the countries are ruined countries, like countries that you can't, not democracy countries, like for example
Iran.
Syria, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Lebanon, even Egypt. There are some kind of radical regime there. It's not about Israel and stuff. I think the main problem of the Jewish people worldwide is that a lot of people, a lot of Syrians, Lebanese, people that suffering from the radical regime, they are moving to Europe, they are moving to the US, to Canada. Some of them, okay, they are becoming part of the society, like the Jewish people that escaped from the Holocaust and stuff. But some of them bring with them all the poison from the Middle East to Canada, to Germany, to the US, and
Hmm.
bring the like honestly ruining democracy country, like privilege. They escaped from a country that is ruined, and they are bringing the same, and eventually you see that this is something like
Yeah.
eventually it's a fight of religions, like it's a fight of religion. If all the Jews will say one day, let's become Muslims and stuff like this,
There would be no issue.
no issue. Why is
Everything
that?
would end.
It's
Yep.
always the Jewish people. Like there are so many Arab countries, there are so many, but eventually one Jewish country, mm, eventually you see
Nothing.
almost it's a problem.
Yep.
This is the main issue.
Jews, and then I want to include too, it's people who want to just live peaceful lives and have freedom. It's a fight for freedom in
Yeah,
like the broader spectrum, because the Christians and the Arabs and the Druze and the Baha'i that are living in Israel, they just want a place to be peaceful. They just want to be in a democracy. A lot of them want something similar to the US. And it's just sad that no one can have that peace. It's especially Jewish people. We just wanted one thing for ourselves when everything had been taken away from us century after century, and then we finally got it, and everyone has an issue with it for some reason. Everyone's
yeah.
saying that we colonized.
For example, my family, Savta Sofia, made Aliyah from Syria. She, like all the anti-Semites like to say, white colonizer go back to Europe. But for example, Savta Sofia, my grandma, she made Aliyah from Syria, was walking all the way to Israel. And okay, you see, like people say, go back to your countries. Syrians that were born Muslims that were born in Syria can't go back to Syria. So you want a Jewish family that escaped from there to go back there? You are even not like understand the Syrians themselves that they are it's their religions can go there. You understand? So much misinformation and curate eventually, like and Jews were living. I tell you what, even before there was, people made Aliyah before the Holocaust, there were Jews that were living in Israel for years. Jews will always be here, and yeah, this is eventually there was the war, independence war. The Arab tried to, to get rid of us, and they lost, and that's it. Like we are not
Yeah.
going to apologize about that that we existed.
We're we're not going to apologize for taking back what was ours. I mean,
Exactly,
a
exactly.
lot a lot of Americans, because it's interesting, because one of the many things that US and Israel have in common, Israel had always been the indigenous land of the Jews, and then here in the US, the Native Americans, this was their land, and it was colonized by Europe, by Britain, Spain, all the European countries that came in and colonized. But a lot of Americans, and I think a lot of people in general, they consider the reestablishment of the state of Israel one of the most successful land back operations in history. Land back
Yeah,
meaning that the indigenous Jews got back their land. I wish more people would think about how there is indigeneity in that land, and it is not with the Palestinian people.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
they may
Eventually,
be native. They may have been native there for centuries because their invaders came in and took over the land, but
yeah,
that wasn't their land in the beginning. How is
it
that
wasn't
fair?
it
But
wasn't their land at the beginning. This is to like
Mhm.
eventually it's said that what happened in 1948, like eventually there was a war and people that were living there eventually left, like but it's what we can do, like we accepted the UN split plan. We said okay, we will have a country. The Arab countries eventually made
Mhm.
like they were hurting eventually the Arabs that were living in the land because they say okay, let's just clean this land from Jews and
Yeah.
just No, it will be another Arab country. They lost. They are the main reason. Someone
Yeah.
is blaming Egypt or Syria for what's happened for the Nakba. They only blame the Jewish people. Like there is a border between Gaza to Egypt, a border, like a wall. Someone talking about it? No one talking about it. It's
No.
like no one.
Egypt, it's interesting how Egypt has really been, I mean, it's saying a lot saying this. They've been somewhat reasonable because they don't like the PA. They don't like Hamas or Jihad because
No, of course.
no. And they have that
They,
Egypt has a lot of that generational guilt too because they enslaved us thousands of years ago. There's still
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. They not only that, they also, we had Yom Kippur, like, we had a few wars that they
Mhm.
try again and again and again and again and again to kill us. We Thousands of soldiers died from both sides.
Mhm.
Eventually, there are a lot of Palestinian immigrants that living in Egypt, in Syria, in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And these countries that those people are from their religion, they, they treat them horribly. Like they don't have citizens. It's
Mhm.
always easy to blame the Jewish people. You know how many immigrants there are in Syria, Palestinian immigrants in Syria and Lebanon, and they are not becoming, regular
Citizens, yeah.
citizens? A lot.
Meanwhile, in Israel, when if Palestinian people go through an immigration process like any other country in the world and they're granted citizenship, they're granted full rights. And nobody
Yeah,
talks about that. Nobody talks about the queer LGBTQ plus Palestinian people who come to Israel for sanctuary. Nobody talks about that and how
yeah,
poorly they're treated in Gaza and West Bank.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And yeah, it's a very big problem. It's a very like something.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, this is something so complicated about it.
It's
And
heartbreaking. It's really it's just two sides. I'm sure I always make it a point to say that because I really believe this. I refuse to make myself believe that all Palestinians want this war and they want
no,
this. No, there are
obviously
yeah.
not all of them, obviously. But I think two things.
Mhm,
Eventually, the radical minority is controlling. It's
yeah.
always like this in this kind, like also in Syria, also in
Mhm,
Lebanon. It's something. I don't know, like how even to explain it. This is one thing. Second thing, if you will ask every Palestinians, even the like educated people, they will say they are against Israel. They don't think that Israel should exist. Not I'm not talking about the radicals. Most of them in general don't want Israel existent. They will say we don't no. We should have a Palestinian state. So I don't think that there is a chance, even a chance for peace.
until the poison is taken out, until this government is dissolved, until they're not and they're abusing their children. They're teaching their children to hate, which is just
Yeah,
it's
this is
so
a problem.
sad. Yeah.
Eventually, this is what's keeping it on. And always people say it's because Israel is locking them. It's because this is. But you see, every time that Israel did something, for example, Israel left Gaza in 2005 in purpose of peace and to give the Palestinians autonomy. One
Mhm.
second after they left the Gaza Strip, the radicals took over. It was a civil war. And you
It's
understand?
yeah.
And people
It's
say,
like
hey,
when the
why is there locked? Why is
yeah.
there locked? Because every time, every second, and this is why right now in the West Bank there is a military like kind of occupation. Yes, because eventually, that if you will leave the West Bank and you will just okay, yalla, Abu Mazen do it, there will be another Hamas at the West Bank.
Shit's gonna go
This is
down.
why the
It's
idea of there, and people say, no, 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 no. But eventually, you see how it's working. For solving it, you need a strong government
Mhm.
that wants to be partner. not
Yeah.
Abu Mazen, that all the time blaming Israel for every terror attack,
Mhm.
and not Hamas, that their purpose is to genocide all the Jews worldwide and everyone. That is not, you understand?
Yeah.
And for that, it's something that you need involved of another country. You understand?
With all of that said, I I kind of want to I hate to say I want to kind of put a bow on it even though there will never be like a finished product of all of this because unfortunately it's ongoing and we're not really seeing any end to it, but what would your advice be to kids or young adults or people outside of Israel that are getting a lot of their information from all these corrupt news organizations or from their favorite celebrities that are very much anti-Israel and inherently anti-Jewish? What would your advice be to them if they're looking to get out of that bubble of anti-Zionism?
I think what every person should do when he sees something in the news about the conflict, he should also go into Israeli websites. He should also read more perspective. And he should understand no one is perfect. No one is perfect. Israel, we are dealing with something. I don't think that most of the people, most of the countries in the world dealing with something like this. But I think that
Mhm.
reading more sources and exposing to more voices is something important to learn, to understand, to see what's going on. And every time, like you hear voices of Israelis that saying terror and stuff like this, read about what is the radical Islamic regime everywhere and understand that this is something very, very, very tough. Like that, not only
Mhm.
Israel dealing with. I think all of the world.
All in all, don't don't take Bella Hadid's word for it. Just take it with a very light grain of salt, but then also go look at all the other stuff to get a fully formed opinion.
Exactly, exactly. Don't get
Yeah.
your sources from Vogue magazine models that the only skills they have is uh, to walk on a red carpet, and even that she sometimes don't doing it. And honestly, not like she never. I don't think she ever been here. Like
Oh, I don't think she. No, I don't
no, she
even know
never
if
been.
has she been to Palestine.
My friend, I
Oh,
don't think that she will be able to get inside without hijab. You think that will she will wear hijab to get inside there? I don't think so. She will
interesting.
get inside there if she will be able to do a Vogue magazine, a
Oh my
Vogue
god.
magazine.
Well, that was great advice. For whoever's watching or listening, please take Uri's words and just do good with it. Take it and absorb it and implement it because I have to say that Uri is very invaluable. He's very the information that he gives in this episode and online it's really good. It's
Thank you so much.
he go follow him. The
Thank you so
let's
much.
let's wrap it up. Tell them where to find you because I think you're not going to get the full essence of Uri unless you go to his accounts. So please tell
Exactly.
every yeah.
Follow first of all my Instagram, Uri Cohen, URICO agent, the Uri, 2B60. You will see me in this kind of platforms, my TikTok. I need to open a new one and my OnlyFans, everyone. $5
Oh
a
my.
month, not going to cost a lot and stuff. You will see the biggest nose you can ever see in your life. Yes, you see, this is
I
the sample.
I know y'all are perverts and you're gonna go start looking right now. So
So I really
I
need
was
to open.
telling I was telling it that I was like, you tell them you have an OnlyFans, you're gonna have people like DMing you for that link. But yeah, and sexualized Zionism, just that sexualized Zionism, Tinduri, it's everything. It
Yeah,
I,
this
I
is
can't tell
yeah.
I can't tell you anything about it. Go look, just see it for yourself. Anyhow, this is another episode of the Hot Jewish Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank
Really,
you for
and
being on. Thank you for being
thank
here.
you.
And
Stay
Yeah,
safety and come to Tel Aviv. I will get you to the best, 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 best parties, gay parties, whatever you want.
I will gladly take you up on that, and I'm going to
Thank you
message you
so
after
much.
this. But
Thank you so much for this podcast.
and thank you guys for watching. You can find me at Hot Jewish Energy, at Hot Jewish Podcast, and at Michael T. Valdes with an S at the end. And you can find me at my new page at Hot Jewish Short King. This has been another episode of the Hot Jewish Podcast. Have a great day and night wherever you are, and bye. Shalom. Bye.
Shalom, shalom, להתראות. Bye.